this week's Texas Roadhouse press conference. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but we've only got one team at home this week. Men's and women's golf are currently playing right now. The women are in Pueblo, Colorado at the El Chico Classic, and men just started today at the St. Edward's Invitational in Austin. Softball was scheduled to play at home this Tuesday against McMurray. That series has been pushed back a month, and it's been changed to one game, I think on April 23rd at 3 o'clock. So we've got nothing else this week until Friday. Baseball is home against Eastern New Mexico. They'll kick off their Lone Star Conference series at 2 o'clock with one game on Friday. Softball is at Texas Women's. They'll play a doubleheader at 4 and 6 o'clock. Saturday, baseball has a doubleheader at home at 1 and 3 against Eastern New Mexico, and the women wrap up their series at 1 o'clock. Baseball will wrap up their series Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock against the Greyhounds, and men's and women's tennis will play against Southeastern Oklahoma State at 11 o'clock Sunday morning in Dallas. All right, we'll get started today with head baseball coach Brian Reinke.
Just out of the state. Good when you guys are.
I'm ready. Yep,
Good?
I'm good.
All right. UTPB baseball is celebrating our 15th year at the collegiate level. While wins and losses are always the essential part of what everybody sees, our players and coaches, we have to focus on so much more. Classroom, fundraising, just everything. It is a complete cycle, and that's every student athlete here at UTPB. Today I'd like to focus on a key factor that makes us a successful team on and off the field, and that's our community donors. I will have a couple representatives come up here in a few minutes, but I'd like to thank these people personally. Nelda and Jimmy Rose, Mylan Felker, Jody and Ted Hogan, Dan Brazelton and Nathan Villalobos from InSource Insurance, Bob Murray from Viva Energy Services, Platinum Pipe, Carrie Fisher, and Doug Ham. Our yearly equipment budget covers basically baseballs, umpires, a few bats here and there. Our guys raise all their money for all the apparel that they get through fundraising that we do. And you guys have been at all our games, and if you look back through the videos, we've wore one jersey top the whole year because that's all we've had. We had to dismantle 2 of them at the end of last year. We were able to, all of these people that I named helped us to purchase 3 new uniform tops and new pants. And today, due to the generosity of these people, these are some of the stuff that you're going to see over the next couple of years. So, a couple years ago when we redesigned the school logos, obviously they're very prominent. UTPB on one, logo on the other. On the whites we went with Texas Permian Basin, which is almost now a throwback to our original orange uniforms that we had. On most of them, well on all of them you'll see the United States flag. Most of them you'll see the Texas flag. And on the white one you'll see the breast cancer symbol. Because as long as I've been here, that is one of the things we've cared about, and we were hit deeply in our family with that 8 years ago. So we wanted to make sure that we presented these in an awesome way, and I think, I know the excitement they had when they walked into my office this morning, and we went from one to now probably the best dressed in the whole league. So I would like to have Ted Hogan, Jimmy Rose, if they would be willing to come up here and take some pictures with the guys, that'd be awesome. Wherever. Tom, can you get a picture?
Yeah, let's try to find the best spot.
The middle.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Sit down, just sit at the tables and stand up here, whatever you want to do. They may have a couple questions.
Sorry, what?
Do you guys have any uniform questions? Want to go to baseball?
Oh, shoot. I hit it.
You good?
I smacked this tripod.
Ready? First, I guess, go back to the weekend. Starting with the positives, it looks like you guys, offense really started clicking, especially in that last game. Is that kind of some momentum you guys have going forward, do you think?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, look, the conditions the whole weekend were tough. I mean, their field is turf, it's fast. The wind blew out 20 to 30 every single game. I mean, there were some pop-ups that we gave up that went out for home runs. I mean, I honestly think if we're playing at our place, a couple of those games are either one-run games or go the other way. I mean, look, they did a good job. They capitalized on our mistakes, but I really thought that we did a good job. I mean, even game 4, they go up early, we come back, they go back ahead, and we come right back and score runs. And I told them after the game, I said, look, this is about as hard of conditions as you're going to play in all year. If you play this way over the next few weeks, we will be fine.
So it seems like also, I know obviously you mentioned the conditions, but pitching continues to be, or pitching and defense, I guess, continues to be a little bit of a struggle at this point in the season. Going into that home weekend, do you think this home turf will kind of change things around?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I thought we played pretty good defense on the weekend. I mean, I think we're still first or second in the conference right there. Obviously, our ERA went up, but so did Anglo's. I mean, it was a very offensive weekend. Conditions were harsh if you were a pitcher on either team at certain times of the day.
Talking about yesterday's game, you guys almost made the comeback there to win it. What positives did you see out of Sunday's game compared to the rest of the series?
We're not going to quit. And we don't, I mean, there's some games like we've talked about in the past where we get in and we just don't perform sometimes on the mound, or we don't hit to keep up with that, and that happens. But I mean, we're just not going to quit, and I think that's where we're tougher than some teams, and in the end it'll help us 100%.
Scoring 10 runs, 4 in the ninth. What does that say about your offense?
I mean, we can score at any time. I truly believe that. I mean, there were a lot of guys that played this weekend. Different guys stepped up. I think back, Gabe Melendez had a pretty good weekend, and he hadn't been in the starting lineup for a couple weeks. So to be able to have guys like him, Peyton Koopman came back around, and I mean, obviously Palermo sitting in the middle of our order is as consistent as anybody right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Okay, next up, we'll have senior Skylar Palermo. That's my dad.
All right, Skyler, coming up, Lone Star Conference Hitter of the Week, you had another huge weekend. What's the ball looking like at the plate for you right now?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to have fun. It's we're just trying to win ball games, so I'm just trying to do my job and score some runs.
What do you think as a second-year senior? What is your sixth-year senior rather? What is your kind of job on this team besides just hitting it, being hot, and kind of leading and whatnot?
I think the biggest thing is just trying to keep everybody in it, kind of keeping everybody on the same page, and staying together as a team. That's, to me, I think that's our biggest thing right now, is just making sure that we are doing our job the way we know how.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, as a leader on the team, how do you keep the morale up after losing a series like this one?
I mean, the biggest thing we talked about was just learning from it. We did a lot of positive things, and I think that we need to just kind of grow off of that and continue a hot streak.
What do you think are some strengths that this team has?
I think camaraderie is one thing that we have a lot of. The guys kind of like to play for each other, and we enjoy, each one of us as individuals and as a team. I think that's our biggest thing, is we all play for each other.
Thanks for me.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, back by popular demand is men's basketball coach Josh Dean.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball guys want to hear me talk?
Took a pull.
You have to lower the camera.
You got an intro for us this week?
Intro? Sure. So obviously it's been a little while since our season's ended. You know, I'm obviously extremely proud of the guys. Being that this was just the first year, we kind of went through a lot, obviously with the timetable, putting the group together. I was happy with them. And we actually ended up being 15-4 on the season, winning record. Which obviously, you know, we have higher expectations, but the fact that we were able to do that, I think that's really good for our guys. But more importantly, we created a foundation. And that's the most important thing, is anytime you want to, you know, be successful, you have to have a foundation. And I think we started that in year one. And I would tell you this, that didn't just happen with our basketball team, but since we've been here with the media, with the support, with the community, with the fans, I've been blown away. And I'm super excited about the future, not only here at UTV, but with our basketball program as well. So that is your introduction. What would you like to know now?
So, are you hitting the recruiting trail pretty hard now, or what's this time of year look like?
Yeah, so this is the busy time. You know, we're actually spending more time on the phone, on the internet, in the car. You know, there's these websites now that anytime there's a transfer or a junior college player that's looking to possibly leave his school and go to another school, or high school prospects, you just get on the internet and you have to make call after call after call, and we will truly recruit probably 60 to 75 kids for 5 scholarships. And so it's busy, and if you find the young man that you have an interest in and he has an interest in your program, the next thing is setting up the visit. So it's really busy, it's nonstop. As every coach would tell you, that recruiting is about 90% a waste of time, because you spend a lot of time building relationships, which are great, but you're only going to get 1 or 2 or 3 of those kids, and you have to recruit 10, 15 kids per spot. So it's taxing, but it's also what we do as coaches. It's building relationships, and most importantly, finding the right fit for our program and for UTV.
So now you mentioned it was like an adjusted timeline last year. What does the ideal Coach Newman timeline look like right now?
Timeline for what? Success?
Going into next season, and then I guess success is a good one too.
Yeah, so our timeline is to win championships, and that's the expectation. Starting now, we are building the team right now that we want to hang more banners in the gym. We want to play in the Spirit Tournament, and that's our expectation. As I told you earlier, the first press conference we ever had, that's not changed for us. I like the foundation, I like where we're at, and I like where we're at recruiting. So that is by far where our focus is winning championships.
Speaking of recruiting, you thought Jake Gaden wasn't here, but he is. How many guys do you plan to bring back from this year's team?
So we're currently having meetings, okay? So we're in that process right now. We're visiting with each young man, and we've got to figure out what's the best fit for them, what's the best fit for us. And as you move forward, we want to make sure the guys that are going to stay here are going to be a part of that. So we are currently going in meetings, so I guess if I'm here next Monday, I'll have a better answer for Jake.
But anyway, also, what is your biggest need, do you think, personnel-wise, going into next season?
You know, we got to add some toughness, but now we can add that within our team with Coach Beal. And again, I can't speak enough about all the people that help our student athletes on the floor, off the floor, in the field, off the field, to kind of help them get to where they need to be. But we need to add some strength. We need to add some size. This league is very physical. We've got to get, you know, some point guard play. That's a big need for us. We've got to go find 2 guys that can take care of the ball, because it sounds like, just like the baseball team, their offense is fantastic. Our offense, we led the league in field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, points per game, but we also led the league in turnovers. That's the one offensive category I don't want to lead the league in again. So we've got to find some guys that can handle the ball and get the ball at the right place at the right time.
This season was full of ups and downs, but how would you describe your first year here at UTPB?
You know, you're right. It is absolutely ups and downs. I would tell you, off the floor, looking at it, fantastic. You know, it was hard for us to uproot our family and become a part of the West Texas community, but the community has done that, and with open arms, and we've been super excited. I'm excited about the vision of Dr. Woodley, Scott Farmer, everybody here, as you see the baseball guys in uniforms. I mean, this is awesome. Where we're going is unbelievable and honestly uncharted, and we're excited to be a part of that. On the floor, you're right, it was ups and downs, and the conference game, we played Commerce. It was a microcosm of our season. We played great early, made some really bad decisions late, turned the ball over, missed some shots here and there, and so we've got to figure out how to have a more even kill. And I think maturity and experience will do that as well. And obviously the guys that do come back, they know more about us and our program and our situation, and they'll be better as well.
Does Xavier have any basketball plans now?
Yeah, so obviously, like most student athletes, they want to go play. They don't want to hang up the dream, and so we're obviously helping him right now, try to figure out what's the next step for him. But most importantly, graduation. That is the key for him, and he's going to be here this summer. He'll actually graduate this summer, which we're super excited about that. Even though he's here with he was only here for 1 year. He's going to be able to walk across that stage, and that means a lot to us. But yeah, we're going to sit down with him, like all the young men, and figure out, okay, what's the next step. But without that degree, nothing's going to happen. So we're going to hold that over him.
Cool.
Works for me.
Thanks,
Thanks a
Coach.
lot, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll finish up today with softball head coach. Joel Cosarelli.
Sorry, I came in late.
Okay, I'm ready. Lucas ready?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that win in game 2 in extra innings. What do you think that says about your team and its resiliency?
I don't know that I can put it into words really. I think that was just about heart and grit. I think you go 11 innings and it's literally back and forth and back and forth, and they scored, we scored, they scored, and it literally was just kind of revolving door of who's going to outdo one another, and ultimately they pulled through in the end. So it was awesome.
Being at the games, in the dugout, everyone's yelling and screaming. It seems like the intensity is always there. How would you describe that?
I think it's special. I don't know another way to say it. I think that I think we're far better than what our record shows, for sure. And I think just us being young and having injuries and fighting through adversity, it's hard to deal with playing that hard, playing well, and just not coming out with the wins in the end. And so I think that we've had the energy, we have the talent. It's just been able to put it through at the right time. And sometimes, as with baseball and softball, it's a game of failure. And there's times where you're going to be on the right side of that, and there's times you're going to be on the wrong side of that. And unfortunately, thus far, we've been on the wrong side. But I think that hasn't stopped the will to win, or the aggression or intensity, or the fight at all.
Do you think that increases their motivation a little bit, knowing they're that close?
I think so. I think it's hard because it's like you're that close, and then when it doesn't come through, it's kind of defeating because it's like, well, what more can I do? Because I'm giving out all I have. So I think it's a double-edged sword. It's like it's hard because it's like, well, I can't give any more, so what more can I give? And it's still not coming through. But what I told them before Game 3, because I think, we planned on playing 14 innings on Saturday, and it went a little bit longer than that. But I'm super thankful, by the way, to all of our fans that came in. We had a great turnout. There was basketball players that were out there. There was baseball players that were out there. There were swimmers that were out there. The student life was out there. We had a lot of support. I think that helps the girls tremendously. But I think that they've just been fighting tooth and nail, and I think that I told them before Game 3 that, hey, I know that yesterday was tough, and I know we're all tired, and I know we're kind of mentally drained, but give me 5 seconds of courage. I said, we're going to battle pitch by giving 5 seconds courage. And when that 5 seconds up, take a deep breath and give me 5 more. And I think that that's something measurable, and I think that's something that they've really tried to get after is, hey, I can give it off for this 5 seconds, and then I'm going to take a break, and then I'm going to give you 5 more. And so that's what we tried to do for Sunday, really, and I think we just fell a little bit short.
So, like you said, a lot of, everything's close, it's tough, it could be going the other way, but, conference play is going on now. How long do you think the squad has to, turn it around and really just start taking control of games?
I think if we continue playing like we're playing, I think that can happen at TWU this weekend. What we talked about is we're not out of the conference run yet. I think we've got to turn around and we have to get some wins. I think that we're well equipped to go in and get a sweep this weekend. But with that being said, I think that we have to put it out there. And I told them, hey, we can't go and get a sweep this weekend, but we've got to walk in there and we got it. And so I think there are sometimes, like I said before, is that little bit of doubt creeps in when things aren't working your way. And so I think instead of focusing on that, I want to focus on what we can do and really focus on, that's our second win this year against a top 25 team. And so having that underneath our belt is going to give us the confidence to really pull through. And I think in those games where we're just wavering on if it's going to come through or not, that confidence.
Any injury updates real quick?
again, we're in the
Sorry.
same boat. No, it's all good. No, unfortunately, we're kind of touch and go, and so we're supposed to play a midweek tomorrow, and the other team had to cancel. So I'm grateful for that because I think that gives us a little more time to heal up and really go a little bit stronger into this weekend. So no, we're not fully back yet. I still have too many on the injury list, but I think that, like I said, that's part of the adversity that they're fighting through, and they've just kind of accepted it, and it is what it is, and we're just gonna keep fighting to the best of our ability with what we got.
Thanks, Coach.
Come on,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.